Second Cup is brought to you by
French girl hat.
Roswell Park Comprehensive Care Center.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on the start of a Monday. Glad you're with us. Welcome to Second Cup. Hope you had a nice weekend.
Busy.
Yeah.
Busy. Hopefully you got to say hi to us at the Pride Parade. We were running around all crazy.
It was a great time yesterday. The weather, okay, can we talk about the weather for a second? God. This weekend, okay, first of all, also, do you see how squinty my eyes are? I'm so tired. Yesterday was a lot. What was I saying?
You were talking about the weather.
Thank you. The weather. It was so bad on Saturday. Just like awful and cold and windy and rainy.
It felt like winter.
Yes. You don't want to do anything outside.
Gross.
Then yesterday, at least the sun was shining and, it was still kind of chilly. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt for the Pride Parade.
Now, what was the thought process going into this? You woke up in the morning, you knew that we were going to be outside for hours, and you said shorts and a t-shirt.
So I'll be honest with you. I was totally okay during the parade. I thought, like, while we were walking, while we were moving, I was like, this is great. I was having a good time. You're running around, high-fiving, hugging people. And then the Pride Parade ended, and we went out to a couple of different parties, and that's when the cold hit me. And I was
struggling.
Yeah, it was tough.
It was very, very chilly, like freezing out there. I was wearing a jacket, jeans.
You were bundled up. Typical Taylor.
Because I get cold, and I was still a little bit chilly. But it was a good day. I mean, Pride is one of my favorite parades. So many people show up. Mm-hmm. It's such a good energy. Everyone's just like cheesing, smiling, having a good time. Usually it's good weather, so that's why I always sign up to go. But this year, not the best, but it could have been worse. There was supposed to be some rain. There was a little bit of rain. But we dodged most of the raindrops, and we had a good time.
I was at Casa Azul and felt the rain come, and I was like, it's
Day
time.
Might be done.
Yeah.
Day might be done.
The weather turned. I turned on my oven just to warm it up in here without using electricity for the furnace. Question: how come certain events are celebrated for a month, but we don't honor military for a month? Good question. I don't know. I wish I could have an answer for you on that one, Mary, but that's a great question. Yesterday, though, we did have a really good time at Pride. You can watch our full live stream of the parade if you missed it on our WKBW Facebook page.
Should we show the cake?
I was going to say, I'm like, we need to get to Taylor here. Taylor was having a time.
I don't know. Let's show this.
It was so funny. Oh, there's everyone marching. Oh.
Like, what the heck is that?
Yes,
bro?
Taylor.
Oh my God.
Honestly, I could watch that all day. I thought it was so funny.
I saw our camera and I just did that. You guys.
Everyone pushes you out of the way. But you are tried and true.
All you can do is pray for me. All you can do is... Why?
So funny.
Where did Jeff go? Everyone else is like keeping it cute. And like, having fun, being normal.
Just Taylor being Taylor.
And then here's me being nuts.
It was cute.
It was fun. It was a good time. It was super fun.
Oh my word, Taylor, you are so fun, Peter says.
Thank you. I try my best. I see a camera and I start to be a little wild. Thank you, Howard. Yeah. Dressing for the weather.
I don't know. I like Pride to me, you've got to wear short shorts and a t-shirt. So that's what I did.
Oh gosh. Someone said they turned the heat on yesterday. Oh my gosh, Tina.
Crazy. Hi, Taylor. Kelly, we love you. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching, girl.
That's insane. What? Oh my God. This makes me believe that you can learn to ride a bike.
What in that video? What did you just see? First of all, you just watched an unhinged young woman on a Sunday afternoon. That made you think I can ride a bike? That should have made you even less confident in my abilities.
That's so funny.
You should have been like, oh, she's not well. She can't ride a bike.
I saw parts of the parade. It looked so cool. Nice. Yeah, it was a really good time. Oh, Howard, his heat just turned on 4 minutes ago. Yikes.
Oof. Yeah, it was chilly. But we're in for some better weather ahead. Look at this. Wednesday, the picture perfect day. You do see that it's going to be hazy sunshine. There are more of those wildfires in Canada. We saw that before, those like hazy kind of smoky skies. So possibly seeing that again for the next 2 days. But look, 81, 85, need.
Even just in the 70s, like I'm happy with that at
I'll
this
take
point,
it.
right?
I'll take it.
Sunday looks gorgeous, 75 and sunny. Like those are the days that you live for in Buffalo.
Josh Nichols calls Goldilocks weather.
Yeah, not too hot, not too cold. It's just right. We've got that solar glare to be careful of.
I'm so excited for the next couple days. I need to find out what I'm doing Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon. I need to find my way to some sunshine or sitting outside or grilling or something.
But then you're like, okay, Jen, I came to Buffalo to visit from Tennessee and the weather was depressing. I know.
We need to do this for Jen. For Jen, we need to have good weather just for the next couple weeks so you can come back from Tennessee and
For Jen.
enjoy it. Good weather for Jen.
Love that. 70 is fine with me. Lori says, I'm going to Saratoga Wednesday through Sunday. James, I hope the parade went well. I marched in one last year and some people were there trying to ruin it, but we didn't let him. Well, that's good.
It was good energy all around.
I thought it was great.
From what I saw. I mean, it's a pretty long walk. We're walking for a good couple miles.
Yes.
And everyone I saw was all smiles. They had these shirts on that you loved.
I did not like the shirts. I'm not going to lie. Some of them were filthy. And you know, like there are just certain words that, like, you know how people don't like the word moist?
Yes.
Okay. There are dirty words that I just don't like. I think that they are, dare I say, absolutely foul.
Absolutely foul.
I don't like them.
Sometimes our Uncle Ed just doesn't like certain things.
They're so gross. Some words are just nasty.
So when you're at Pride, you know you're going to see anything.
Wild.
And I guess, I don't know who was selling these shirts, but they were very, very popular. Everywhere we go, we're just seeing
Even in our video.
dirty words plastered all over T-shirts running around.
There was this one pink one. And it's not like it, you know, there are some words on it that are like, whatever, it is what it is. But like dirty, gross words.
It was fun.
Oh God, terrible.
Got to see some of our friends. You had the cutest video. You and Jan out there. You got to see your mom. But yeah, Pride is always a good time. It's always a fun one. You get to hang out, and then bang, the reality of Monday morning
Seriously.
slaps you in the face, especially when it's freezing cold.
I was telling Taylor this morning I was driving the struggle bus.
I think you said struggle train.
Struggle train, whatever. I was the conductor. I was on it. I was
Struggle
riding
locomotive.
It. That's for sure. You know, it's like you're with your friends, you're having a good time, and you're just kind of like, oh my God.
Struggling.
So how about from drinking at Pride to drinking at a wedding?
Oh my gosh, you guys. We talked about this on Friday. We knew that Josh was getting married over the weekend, and we finally got to see what it looks like. I mean, can we just soak this in?
They're so cute.
How precious. I love Haley's dress. I knew that I would. It is so
simple.
So simple, so sleek, so wonderful. She's snatched to the gods. She looks so wonderful. I love the gloves.
I do too. Like she looks
Classy.
like a fairy princess.
I'm obsessed.
And yeah, classy is a great way to describe this. Like she just looks gorgeous.
Josh looks wonderful as well. He also kept it very simple, nice tucks.
Yeah.
And then he kept, we were debating whether or not he was going to shave, do the clean shaven, but it looks like he kept the
beard.
Really close, like stubble beard.
Yeah.
He had the long hair, the little like one piece in the front, his little swoop.
I wish we could see like a better picture. Like,
okay, I found like a thread. We only have these like bird's eye view pictures that I'm sure some kind of like drone paparazzi took. I can share my screen. I'll find it. I found a thread of.
Oh, on Twitter I saw it.
Yeah, every picture that we have from all of it, because I feel like everyone's just kind of waiting in the wings, like, watching. I'll share my screen so we can enjoy all of them together. Can you imagine what it would have been like to be there?
No, okay. So Kelly, between him and Dawson Knox, my 6-year-old daughter doesn't know if she's heartbroken or happy. That's hysterical. No, I can't imagine what it would be like to be there. I mean, like you are the MVP of the NFL,
and then you get married,
right?
Like, what more could you want? Okay,
I don't know.
I think I'm there. Okay, add to stage. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, so these are all of the pictures from the wedding. So here's Haley, like walking up, looking stunning. She just did a simple like slick back.
Why do her gloves look purple?
I think they're like see-through material.
Oh, okay.
Like I think because of the material that they are, like they are more of a pure white, and I think her dress is a little closer to like an off-white, like an eggshell.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I love this picture. Ah,
They're so cute.
that one's one of my favorites. Like, look at them just having the time of their lives.
I
Like,
know.
they love each other so much.
I also love this. Well, I would call it like, I don't know what it is. Like you're under. Oh, she's Jewish, isn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so it's a chuppah.
Okay.
So
Oh, I wonder if they did the horror. At
I
the
wonder if they
reception.
did. We did that at my wedding. That was fun.
Here's some more
Oh,
close-ups
she's
of them
beautiful.
walking away. Oh my gosh. Ooh, there's the kids.
Ah.
Look at them.
Can you imagine like
Being either one of them. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if you're Josh Allen, you're looking at your wife, Haley Steinfeld, and you're going, oh my gosh, I'm the luckiest man in the world.
Seriously.
If you're Haley Steinfeld, you're looking at Josh Allen across from you, and you're like, I'm the luckiest woman in the world. Like, there's another picture that I want to find of the two of them. They were like flashing their wedding bands. That was so
I saw
cute.
that when they were like this.
Yeah.
That was cute.
There it is. Yeah. look at
I
them
love
go.
that. Okay, now who's in the crowd?
I think that's Josh's family. And then there are a couple where you can see like Dawson and the gang behind them. I think that's Haley's dad walking her down the aisle.
Ah.
I mean, they had perfect weather for it. It looked stunning.
Do we think they played the shout song at the reception?
I think so.
John says no. I don't know.
I wonder if that's like too much for them. If they're like, I've had enough.
Also,
Maybe they played Mr. Brightside. I know they played.
oh, that's a great. They did that at Dawson's.
Uh-huh.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Should I ask it?
Should you? Let me see if I can find Dawson Knox at the wedding.
Where do we think the X is?
Ooh, hopefully on a boat somewhere. Josh. Wedding.
Yikes!
Oh yeah, okay. Here are the
there's-
guys.
I love
We got
this.
Spencer Brown.
Dawson.
Oh, was that Joe Brady?
I don't know.
I don't know. Someone said that. Interesting.
Also, what was this party like? Was it wild
No
or
idea.
was it
I feel like it was a mix.
low key?
I feel like it was probably a little low key at certain part, and then like after a certain point in the night,
Yeah.
it gets wild and super fun.
Like I want to know where Brittany is.
I know.
Is Brittany okay?
Oh, Britt. You know, I'm sure Haley's got a couple exes too that are
Yeah.
spending the weekend somewhere else.
I get texts from my exes when they want a second chance.
She was in New York City last week. According to her.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Johnny, my boy, is doing the investigative work behind the scenes.
Johnny, my boy, digging deep into the Instagrams.
Really tough over here.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, she was in New York City.
Yikes.
My love language is bringing you a coffee. That's what she said a week ago.
Okay. I agree though, Bonnie. Mr. Josh Allen and Queen Haley of Buffalo. It's like king and queen. They are Buffalo royalty.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait till they come back here for the season. Do you think he'll be different as a married man? I mean, we've watched him grow over the years, right? He was, a kid, really, when he
baby,
first started.
yeah.
And now he's a married man. He's the MVP. I feel like so much has changed for him in just the last year. I feel like we'll see him carry that extra maturity
I hope
coming
so.
into the year.
He's got somebody somebody's depending on him now.
I know.
But I mean, like even as a team, I mean, they all depend on him. But
Oh my gosh, they file their taxes together. I would love to see how much money's in that one.
I was overhearing the most Buffalo conversation the other day too on Saturday. Two women talking about Josh getting married and blah 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 and how great it was. Like, where else but Buffalo would you have that kind of a conversation?
I know about your quarterback, like
Yeah.
knowing the ins and outs of the wedding. We were sitting at the Pride Parade just going through that thread of pictures and being like,
I love
they're
it.
so cute.
Shonda says Brit's in New York City living her best life. Kissy faces, lattes. Yup.
Mm-hmm.
True that. I actually had to stop following her after a while. I couldn't anymore. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. How about this one? I like this story, childcare. Do you think they're going to have kids? Do you think they'll have a
I
need for
hope
childcare?
so. I think they'll be okay. Oh, Sean McDermott was there.
Oh,
I can see Deion Dawkins. We're just looking at the crowd for the weddings. Honestly, yeah, there it is.
who's circled?
That Deion Dawkins is the middle circle. Coach McDermott's on the right. I can't tell who that is on the left. What does it say? More members. Pagula.
Oh,
That's who they're circling.
Okay.
Pagula
Oh,
right
I see
there.
Pagula, the gray hair. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you invite your bosses to the wedding.
I guess that makes sense.
and then some of your teammates. Imagine if you're a teammate that like didn't get the invite. And you're like,
I
"Okay."
actually was wondering about that because they were at OTAs. Josh was at OTAs the other day,
Right.
and then a bunch of them were going to the wedding. But like, who, and who did not get the? Who didn't?
Who didn't make the cut?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, it's expensive. Weddings are expensive. You know, you're paying per person. I'm sure it was open bar. I'm sure every flower in this beautiful venue cost $1 million. Everyone's got their little parasol umbrellas.
And it looks like it was black tie.
Yes, it looks like it was black tie. So I'm sure they put out a pretty penny for this.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It's a
they're millionaires.
53-man roster. Not all 53 are going to make it. I feel like the players that have been with him for a while, you know, if you're invited over to the cookout at the house, you're invited over to the wedding.
That's fair.
The rookie is probably not getting the call.
No, you don't. What about like Joe Andreessen? Was Joe Andreessen there?
Oh, Buffalo Joe? I don't think.
He's not part of that cool kids club.
You know, maybe they'll do something during the season. Maybe they'll have like a reception back in Buffalo.
Oh, I
Maybe-
love that. Okay,
What if he comes back, you know, before training camp or something? They have everyone over the house or something. They can
that's a good idea.
do that. What do you get them as like a wedding gift? Like, I wonder what the registry looks like. They just got, like, normal stuff, or do they not have one?
Waterford Crystal.
Oh my gosh, Linda's asking the same question. Yeah, what do you get them for a present? These people who have everything.
I don't know. Do you think they even had a registry?
Probably not, but I feel like maybe for that kind of couple, you get something like custom for them, a nice painting for the house.
Oh, that's
or
a good
like
idea.
a picture of the two of them framed,
Mhm.
or I don't know.
I don't either. I was like, give me the money.
I
know.
Was Anita there?
Why would Anita be there?
She probably wanted to.
Anita, who joins us here on Second Cup?
You never know.
I don't know.
She's recovering from her surgery.
Yeah.
Just so she can make it to
I don't think
the
so.
wedding in time. But we talked about the possibility of them having kids.
Yeah.
And look, I'm sure that childcare,
I like
even
what
for
your
them,
dad
is
says.
be
Sorry to
expensive.
interrupt.
Donate to a charity in their name.
I like that.
Okay, yeah, Diane had the same idea.
Okay.
Cool. That is a good idea. Nice bottle of wine, a journal.
I was wondering this.
I
Ooh.
wonder if Stefan Diggs got an invite.
And if that's the case, was Cardi,
Belcalis.
was Taylor there?
No. What, you think Travis Kelce was invited?
Well, but like, aren't Taylor and Haley friends?
Oh, they were. I don't think they have been like, when's the last time they were seen together?
I don't know.
Your heart just stopped. I'm telling you, Edward, if Taylor was there, we would have seen pictures.
It's fair. Yes,
we
you're
would
right.
have known.
Okay.
Maybe
Anyway.
she got an invite though. But then I feel like if you invite Taylor Swift for Haley's side, and then Travis is there, and that's a whole thing, and I mean, it's not a bad thing.
The light bulb went off.
I mean, I can only imagine what they were doing making this guest list. Like, her list of friends is
Right.
like huge because she's, you know, famous celebrity.
A-list
I wonder if
celebs.
Michael B. Jordan was there.
Ooh,
If you saw the movie Sinners,
I love Michael B. Jordan.
that's how you know.
You should be the one to know. I know. I didn't see
Right?
anything.
Which means she probably wasn't.
Yeah.
Get them a pink flamingo for their lawn.
Yeah, that's so Buffalo.
Good gift.
So funny. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you about childcare.
So, childcare, no matter who you are,
Right.
it's a pretty penny. On average, $21,000 a year is what
Yikes.
families are shelling out. And this is the cost of raising a child altogether. So this is, you know, including childcare, but this is all of it. We're talking about like almost $30,000 of an annual cost when it comes to raising a kid. New York, number 8 on the list as far as most expensive states go. Over 18 years, you're paying $300,000 just to have a kid. You know, so many people want to raise a family. It's a part of a lot of people's goals. But now many people have to ask the question, like, hey, can we afford this? Are we able to, you know, do we know if we have the money for this kind of thing? And Jeanette has a great point. Katie needs to chime in for the segment.
Yeah.
Because when we first got to see Katie, when we went out a couple of weeks back, she was saying to me, she was like, we already got to look at childcare. And I was looking at it and ooh, it was expensive.
Well, so what I thought was so interesting in your story, and you know, even Katie vouched for this. You have to plan for childcare and get on lists when you're pregnant, before you're even pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that you're having a baby, knowing that you'll need childcare. You then need to kind of like think a year down the line,
Right.
even from having the baby, to go into childcare.
So you don't even have a name for this child,
Right.
right? You just know you're having one. You're like, one of your first thoughts at this point has to be, you know, can we get them in childcare? It means to get them signed up on one of these lists. So I went to Little Angels Daycare in Cheektowaga. Sophia Mato, she's wonderful, a great resource. She is also on the state's childcare task force. So the state's mission is to try to get universal childcare. So what does that mean? Right now, you send your kid to elementary school. There are public school options. You could go to a private school, but public school for your kids is free. They're saying that education and care for your children should start day one, and it should be free for people who live in New York State.
A lot of countries, Canada has universal childcare.
Right. So then the question is, how do we afford that? Who is paying for it?
Right.
And right now, I talked to the new commissioner of the Office of Child and Family Services with New York State, and she says they're working to figure that out. They've got statisticians, economists looking into this, but they're not comfortable doing this off the backs of taxpayers alone because, that's a lot of money.
Right.
And for New Yorkers, we would have to kind of handle that ourselves. So now how can we make the money? How can we make it happen? Some of the experts I spoke to said, hopefully within the next 5 years we can get it done, but no real date on when we can get that universal childcare. So if you are having kids now, if you already have kids, what do you do in the meantime?
Right.
And that's really what I was focusing on. And we have the link to my story right there in the comments. And I put everything, kind of tried to organize it really well. There are things that were just passed in the state budget that are trying to help out, as well as they've opened up the eligibility to apply for assistance. There are referral networks. There's a business navigator program to help the employers, basically find out what's best for you if you're going to be working, what's closest to your job. And then you can file for like a legal exemption if your family members want to help out, for example.
This is kind of interesting from Carlos. My friend is giving up teaching to be a stay-at-home mom because of the cost, right? And that's the whole thing. We know women are the primary caregivers when it comes to kids. But, and that's not coming from me. That's coming from the Western New York Women's Foundation. But the whole thing is to try and keep these women in the workforce, to allow them to make money, to allow them to have a job, rather than having to make that awful decision. Do I stay or do I go just to take care of my child? And it's not just to take care of my child. It's, does the benefit outweigh the cost?
Yeah. And then you have someone like Katie who says, I'm so blessed, and both my parents are retired and are able to watch my son. And in this day and age, it's been so difficult for people who are trying to retire, who maybe aren't able to.
Right.
People have come out of retirement and said, I have to go back to work. I can't afford this. So maybe grandma and grandpa are an option for some people. Hopefully you can, but maybe that legal exemption can get them some subsidies as well. And Mark says, I understand that childcare is necessary, but says that healthcare is more necessary. There's so many things to consider, right? So many things that we want to provide for our communities.
Charlie's point here, another tax, great. Like if we decided to have this universal childcare system in place, is that worth it? Is that a tax that you're willing to burden?
But listen to Miranda, it's not worth it for me to work until my kiddo is out of childcare age. That's the reality for so many people. Like, you have the child and you're like, okay, I'm just out of commission. I cannot go back to work until I can make sure that my child is going to school every single day, and then we can figure it out. There's so much to consider now when you're thinking about having a kid because of how expensive it is. And then for those who are running a daycare center, they've got so much on top of them.
Right.
Sophia was telling me that they not only have added requirements because of COVID, right? They have to do extra healthcare checks. There has been so much research that shows that those first couple of years are so formative for a child's life that they're doing extra work to make sure that those getting those gross motor skills, that they're getting, starting the alphabet. They're teaching these kids, and every step of the way they're adding more, but they're not being paid anymore.
Right.
They're not being paid. 12% of people in New York State who work in childcare live in poverty. Right. That's according to the Western New York Women's Foundation as well. And in my story, I'll link to a lot of the resources, and a lot of the numbers that they show are scary. And then you have daycare centers who are limited in their space, not because of their physical space, because they don't have enough people to work there.
Right, and there are certain ratios that the state mandates then to meet. Shonda, this would make my blood boil. It's not my responsibility to pay for others' kids. Bad enough I chose not to have them and pay school taxes. Nobody paid for my college education but me. So I guess what we're talking about here, Shonda, is that, association of a tax, if there were to be
universal childcare.
Exactly. Because really, it's all of us putting money in the pot for everyone else to use that.
It's got to be a group decision. Do we as a society want to kind of foot the bill so that kids can get that experience as soon as they're born?
Miranda, yes, I covered daycare for many, many years. It was called Investigation Daycare. The quality of care does not add up to the cost of care. Additionally, these workers are not paid to care enough. They make poverty wages. And I would argue that it's not that they don't, that they care. they are in this profession for a reason.
Everybody's got to make ends meet.
Right.
Noreen's comment here, it's crazy. My granddaughter's expecting in September. My daughter's going to watch him 2 days a week. And me, great-grandmother, also watching him 2 days. And then dad working from home 1 day.
Wow.
You need your employer to give a little. Hopefully you can make it work. I can only imagine what that calendar looks like, right? It's like, okay, mom is these 2 days, dad is these 2 days, great-grandma's coming in to help out. And then, God forbid someone's sick or, goes somewhere and then you have to kind of fill in those gaps. It's a lot of work.
A little bit of a wrench in the plans. Miranda says, they care, but they do so much for so little. And that is really the case. And that's kind of that cycle that I've been talking about for so long. Like it's vicious. And, we know parts of Western New York are in a daycare desert, that there just aren't enough
A lot
facilities.
in Niagara County. I did a story a while back in Niagara County. I mean, there is like 1 or 2 in a certain area, like in the Gasport area. And think of all those families that are out there. I mean, it doesn't mean they don't still need care. It's just harder for them to find something.
Cindy says our children are the ones who lose. Elizabeth, even though the childcare stuff doesn't affect me, I would take another tax to help the next mom out there. Just because I didn't have it always easy doesn't mean I don't want to help the next set. That's an interesting perspective, Elizabeth. Glad that we could share your voice on this. Howard says, the state should not be raising or paying for our kids, nor should we be paying for it. That being said, your family, extended family, and friends should step up to help. Some as I did for my grandkids and family did for us when we had kids. I don't want the state involved in my kids any more than they already are. Interesting, Howard.
I just know that there's so many cases where parents or grandparents maybe aren't able to step out or help out rather, or, maybe you don't have that relationship with your family or you moved away. Like my parents, they live in New Jersey right now.
Right.
I'm not having kids anytime soon, but, I'm here in Buffalo. That would mean they'd have to move here.
It takes
to help
a village,
me out. And
too.
it does. It takes a village.
Jeanette says, we don't have kids yet, but we want to. All of this is so depressing, and we both have parents that can help us, but they also have retirement jobs, rather. Elizabeth says, the grandma saved us multiple times, but not everyone does. Yeah, I mean, I love helping out when I can. Andrew needs me to go get the girls or something from school. I'm happy to do it, but I can't imagine being in a bind and not knowing where you're going to turn for help. That's difficult.
And this is until they're 3 or 4?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a couple of years of trying to figure all that out.
Connie says, my daughter with the baby works from home and I'm not there to help as I wish I could. She's got other grandparents to help until I come to town. Then I get to watch him. She also started 2 days a week at daycare. He loves it, but he's also 18 months, so it's time to meet other kids.
That socialization is really important as well.
That social emotional learning.
Oh, there's so much. Noreen says, these days, everyone has to work.
Right.
A lot of times. So if you have time, go through, we put the link into the story.
Is there one thing that stood out to you? Because I think that, let's talk about the process here for a second. When we were talking about the story so many months ago, the idea was, okay, well, what can families do? What's the solution? Where can we turn to try and help people make ends meet and maybe get some money to help us out paying for daycare?
The idea was, okay, we shared those statistics about the $29,000 or $300,000 that it takes to raise a child over the course of 18 years. We're like, what help can we provide to families? And then I, asked that question to Sherry Scavone and Sophia, and they were like, well, there's not a whole lot we can do. I mean, really, Sherry said it's a crisis for our families right now, where we are with childcare. So then I was like, okay, maybe it's less so of a okay, here are a couple things you can do, and more so painting that picture. And that's when we really focused on, everybody brought up that universal childcare. Each of the 3 women who are on this task force, all 3 of them together, we're like, it's that universal childcare. That would solve a lot of people's problems. That's the solution here. And then, there is help out there. It's not to say there isn't help. There's help on the county level with Erie County and DSS, and then there's help on the state level. And they have expanded it. It's gotten better, but Sherry says we're just not where we need to be just yet.
Interesting.
So that is the point driven home, and there are incremental steps every step of the way. There are parts of the state budget that are looking to make it easier for parents. That child tax credit, free school lunches. So if you do have kids that are in school, hopefully you can save a couple dollars there. So every little bit helps along the way, but hopefully in the next 10, 15 years or so, we can be in a different place where we can make sure New York State is a place that you can raise a child. And I even asked the commissioner, I said, what advice do you have to people? And she goes, stay in New York State.
Well, I mean, take that for where it's coming.
Right.
But.
that was her tip.
Right. Interesting story. And John has it linked here in the comments. So if you're interested in taking a look at that, by all means. We got to get the show on the road here. So thanks for being with us on a Monday. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a great day.